Hello, friends. Welcome back to Big Goal Energy. Bri Seeley here with you today. And man, the last 18 months have really leveled me in such a beautiful way. I wanted to do a series sharing with you some of the most important messages or insights that I have gotten on my journey over the last 18 months. If you've listened to this podcast in the past, you've heard that I am not the same woman sitting in front of you today that I was 18 months ago. I have been going through an absolutely deep, transformative, catalytic metamorphosis. And I've really tried to keep up all of the external appearances of my life and my business. And the truth is that I have just had to let everything I knew to be true about life and business fall apart so that I could have the space to actually look at what I really wanted in my life, the kind of business I really wanted to run, the kind of woman I really want to be, what I want to experience every day, how I want to leave an impact in this world. And when you ask big questions like that, what happens is all of the old stuff that no longer fits has to go. A year ago, when I set out to start house sitting and to change up my perspective and to force my brain to think new thoughts and see life through a different lens and have different experiences than I was having on a daily basis, I had no idea where it was going to lead me. And what it's led me to is a life even greater than I ever could have imagined before. But also, right now, that's a little empty because everything that was taking up space in my life before now has shown to be not aligned. There were 4 major experiences that I had last year that were a combination of conversations, meditations, journaling, etc., that really have been the building blocks for me to arrive in January with my new yearly theme, which I shared in the last episode, that is, how great can I stand it? And truly raising the threshold for greatness in my life. And I wouldn't have gotten to this place of raising this threshold if I hadn't asked myself some of the questions I'm about to share with you, and if I hadn't had some of the conversations that I'm about to share with you, and if I hadn't journaled or meditated about some of the things that I'm about to share with you. So I'm going to share with you one of the first messages that I got in this episode, and then please know that this is part 1 of 4. So there are 3 other messages / insights, ahas, whatever you want to call it, that I received over the last 18 months that have truly changed how I live my life, how I show up, who I am. And I hope that you find value in these.
You were never meant for a small life. You have bold ideas, audacious dreams, and visions that keep you up at night. But the truth is, big goals don't come with step-by-step instructions, and success doesn't come from doing more. It comes from becoming more. Welcome to Big Goal Energy, a podcast for high-achieving women who are done shrinking, striving, and second-guessing, and are ready to defy reality in pursuit of the life they actually want. I'm your hostess, Bri Seeley, goal architect, subconscious strategist, and your permission slip to want what you want. Join me as we go beyond the surface level success to explore the mindset, identity, and inner work required to bring your biggest, most delulu goals to life. This is your space to be seen, to be expanded, and to remember that you are not alone on this journey. Let's get into it.
Let's dive in to the first message that I received in April of 2025 while babysitting for 16 chickens, 2 cats, and a dog in Mountain Home, Arkansas. It is absolutely no secret that since 2017, I have desired to have a 7-figure business. I was very open about it in 2017. I made a Facebook video declaring my thing. I wrote the check like Jim Carrey wrote the check. I did the stuff saying like, this is my intention, 2017. Now, oddly, if you're into numerology at all, 2017 was also a 1 year. Last year was a 9 year. 1s are beginnings, 9s are endings. And 2026, we're back in a 1 year again. So 2017, I set this intention that I had just had my first 6-figure year in my coaching business and that I wanted to be a 7-figure business owner. I did what a lot of us do when we have desires for more. I started working really fucking hard. I stopped letting the breadcrumbs of life come to me. I stopped letting life show me the pathway ahead, and I started pushing. And I pushed very hard for a very long time. And no matter how much I pushed, no matter how much I worked, no matter how much I invested in my business, literally everything I did, every single year in my business, I still hit similar financial thresholds. My business, aside from 2024 was the largest year in my business, pretty much was at the same amount of revenue every year for 10 years. And I could not figure out why it wasn't working. I couldn't figure out why, if I was working more and working harder and still doing all the meditation and the alignment and all of the inner work that I know to do, why weren't my results changing? So, April 2025, I'm in Arkansas babysitting for these 19 animals, and I'm meditating every single day. And in the middle of one of my meditations one day, I heard very clearly, what if your 7-figure business is not going to be built based on your time and your effort, but rather through your mind and your energy? Now, of course, this message comes and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? But I write it down and I'm like, 7-figure business, not time and effort, built through mind and energy. I've had 10 months to sit with this message, so I'm a little clearer now on what it means and why it came through. If we look at what time and effort truly is, time and effort are finite resources. I only have 24 hours in a day. You only have 24 hours in a day. I only have so much effort that I can put forth in said 24 hours, and then I'm tapped. My fuel tank is empty and I have to go refuel before I can put in more effort. Not to mention, if you know my story, you also know that 10 months ago I had frozen shoulder. So I literally could not effort. Physically, emotionally, mentally, I was done. I was empty. I was running on empty for probably about 12 months. There was no amount of effort coming out of me at all, much less the kind of effort that I had been putting into my business for the 10 years prior. So if the finite resources of time and effort are not the things that get us to the big goals that we all have, what are? Well, what are our infinite resources? Our mind and our energy. We can refuel with energy whenever we want it. Here, I'm sitting here in a sunroom in St. Louis at another house sit, literally receiving the unending energy of the sun. Everything is energy. Everything around us is energy. Everything is vibrating. Everything has a frequency. Everything has a resonance. It's everywhere all the time. All we have to do is tap into those reservoirs of energy, which are literally everywhere. Our mind is also, for the most part, there's a few exceptions to this, an infinite resource. We can think things beyond what exists in our world. Our mind can conceptualize ideas, opportunities, experiences in a second that we simply cannot effort our way into, no matter how much effort we put behind it. What does it mean to build a business from your mind and your energy rather than your time and your effort? Well, one, you need to overcome time and effort because time and effort are still required. They're just not the dominant forces that bring you to large goals. How do you scale time? You get more people around you. You get more resources around you. You use things like AI, which is literally instant manifestations. How do we scale our effort? Again, AI is a great tool right now to be able to scale your effort. I'm going to take the transcript from this podcast and I'm going to put it into AI and I'm going to ask it to write the description for me. Now, I don't put it in blindly because I think there's a lot of shit that comes out of ChatGPT. And also, I've kind of stopped using ChatGPT, #ethics. But I have taken it upon myself to train my AI to be an extension of me. That's scaling my time and my effort because it will take an AI platform a minute to write all the content and the copy from this episode that previously it would take me hours to write. So we have tools available to us where we can scale our time and scale our effort in really easy ways. One of the other things I'm doing is bringing a co-founder on for the new project that I'm building because he has skills and knowledge that, frankly, if I studied for 30 years, maybe I could also gain, but it's not worth my time and my effort to gain those skills when I could just partner up with him and build something together. So that leads us to, what am I doing every day? If I'm not leveraging my time and I'm not leveraging my effort to build what my future is, to build the future of a business, to build the future of what is coming for you, no spoilers yet, it's coming. How am I spending my days each day? Well, a lot of what I'm doing right now is refining and tuning my frequency. I am working on my energy a lot because it is my energy and my mind that are going to be the things that build the business that I've always wanted. Don't get me wrong. My coaching business was great. It was great when I had it. It's never been the business that I've wanted. Now that I have the opportunity and the resources to build the business I want, and I've gotten the message that it's coming through my mind and my energy, my job each day is my mind and my energy. I'm flexing my creativity. I'm tapping back into my beginner mind. I'm working on my frequency. I'm harnessing my energy. I'm learning the energetics of the thing that is desiring to be built through me. Now, I still have to do shit like check my email and send emails and have communications and meet with people and all of these other things. But the predominant focus for me right now is my energy and my mind. I am studying new ways of being. I'm learning things that I've never learned before. I'm having conversations with people that are expanding me at rapid rates because I can no longer look backwards and do what I've done in the past to build what I want in the future because those two pathways are not the same. My past and my future don't even exist on the same plane. They're not even remotely in the same worlds. So my question for you is, when you hear this, when you hear that time and effort are not the levers to pull to get to your goals, what comes up for you? Do you have scarcity pop up for you saying, well, if I can't effort my way into my goals, how are they going to get built? If I'm not pushing and hustling and grinding, how are my goals going to realize themselves in the world? Maybe you have a little bit of fear pop up. Maybe your comfort zone is in controlling your effort and in controlling your time. And it feels scary to think that the way that you've been operating in the past isn't the way that you have to operate in the future to get to the goals that you want. And then concurrently, when I say that the big goals that you have and the big business that you want to build are going to be built through your energy and your mind, what does that bring up for you? Is it confusing? Does it feel like I'm speaking a different language? Believe me, when this came through last year, I was like, I don't even know what that means. Does it feel uncomfortable? Pay attention. You don't have to have all the answers. In fact, I've found that the more that I've dove into the things that I've experienced in the last year and the 4 episodes that I'm going to be sharing with you, it's been very uncomfortable. There's so much stuff that's come through in messages to me that I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Or I don't know how that applies to my life. Or is that even a reality that's available to me? What I want to share with you here as well is that the more I've dove into all of these things, I think I've been presented with more questions than I have answers. And I just want to normalize that that is how it works. And it is in the questions, and it is in the questioning, and it is in the uncertainty and the unknown that all of the magic that you are looking for lives. It all lives in the unknown. If it lived in the known, it wouldn't be a goal. It'd be your life. It wouldn't be a desire. It would be your reality. One of the things I've been doing to really embrace this, and I think I'm going to do a whole episode about this, is really flexing the beginner's mind, putting myself in circumstances and places and situations and conversations, meeting people that I frankly would not have done in the past. Being a beginner, not knowing things. I just busted out my watercolor set for the first time since college. I haven't touched watercolor in 23 years, and I'm watercoloring again like a beginner because I am a beginner. It's part of why I started house sitting last year too. When you have to make lunch in a kitchen that's not yours and you have to figure out where the cutting board is and where the knife set is and how to run the dishwasher, it forces your brain to think in new ways that you wouldn't have thought yesterday. One of my least favorite things about the brain is that of the thoughts that we have, 95% of the thoughts that you have today are the exact same as yesterday, which means that your tomorrow is going to look a lot like yesterday, and that 10 weeks from now is going to look a lot like 10 weeks ago. And if we are not conscious of disrupting our thought patterns, we cannot think in new ways. And if we cannot think in new ways, our future is completely predictable. It's going to look a hell of a lot like our past. And I don't know about you, I am committed to life getting greater, and I am not committed to living in Groundhog Day. It's what got me traveling a year ago, was that I felt like I was living in Groundhog Day. And it is more uncomfortable to live in Groundhog Day and to repeat the same shit over and over and over and over and over again than it is to put myself in circumstances, situations, and conversations that are brand new. So the things for you to ponder from this episode: 1, what comes up when I say that your big goals are not going to be built through your time and effort? How does that feel in your body? Truly, what's coming up for you around that concept and that idea? Next, when I say your big goals are going to be built from your energy and your mind, same questions. What comes up for you? Does it feel uncomfortable? Does it feel scary? Does it feel like a grand adventure that you get to go out and be like, show me, universe, show me the pathway, show me how to refine my energy and my mind so much so that the goals that I have no choice but to reveal themselves to me. And last but not least, what is one thing that you could do this week to tap into that beginner mind again? What is one thing maybe you've been thinking about, maybe you haven't done in 23 years? Do you have one of those DIY craft places in your town that you could go do a craft that you've never done before? Could you go axe throwing? What about belly dancing? Is there something that you could go try, rock climbing, that you've never done before that would force you to start having to think differently, to literally force your brain to not rely on the past, but instead to carve new neural pathways in your brain, to flex your neuroplasticity in real time? There was a beautiful quote from one of the Olympic skiers. Her name is Eileen, and a reporter asked, how do you think? Because you are so eloquent with your answers. You can answer anything, and you just have such easy ways of speaking about things. And her response was that she embraces neuroplasticity. She forces herself to think in new ways, to learn new things, to try things outside of her comfort zone, because it forces her brain to operate in a higher functioning than it would otherwise. There's that saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but science is proving otherwise. So let's let go of some of our old tricks, efforting, time, finite resources, pushing, and let's embrace some new tricks, energy, mind. I'm excited to share the other 3 episodes with you. Make sure that you are subscribed to Big Goal Energy. I also have some really cool, deep conversations that are going to be episodes either before or after this. Things like, what happens if you have to file bankruptcy from your business? What happens if you wake up one day, like I did, and realize your business model doesn't actually work for you? Then what? Have some amazing guests coming on, again, either before or after this episode. Things are very fluid right now. I don't really know when this is going to be released. I don't know when the other episodes are going to be released. So take a look through the Big Goal Energy episodes and enjoy all of the past episodes, all of the future episodes. Make sure you are subscribed. Come hang out with me on Instagram and TikTok. And let's usher in a new era of business, a new era of leadership for women, a new way of operating in the world that doesn't require us to sacrifice ourselves in pursuit of our big, big goals. I am so grateful to be here with you. Thank you for spending some time with me today. I will see you on the next episode. And as always, reach out anytime. Email me, DM me. I love hearing from you and the insights that you gain from these episodes. Big hugs. Thanks for joining.
If this episode lit something up in you, share it. Text it to a friend, post it to your stories, or leave a review, because big goal energy is meant to be felt far and wide. And if you're ready to go deeper, explore the tools, hypnosis sessions, and support because your vision deserves more than hustle, join us on the Big Goal Energy app by visiting your app store and typing in Big Goal Energy. Your vision, your goals deserve alignment, ease, and your fullest self behind them. Until next time, trust yourself, dream bigger, and never forget, you are here for greatness.